The more civilized the country is, more intricate the structure of its social economy.
Work the hammer at the sun, nail till the beer's done, lay the chickens on the wrist, and I won't stop until my family's fed. Well, I will treat you with respect. This small town love, more than you want you to expect. I know you didn't know me well, not in you will, my friend. Thank you for coming, sir, and come on back again.
So what do you want to know? I've always been an artist. You know, when I was little, I would always draw and color stuff. But as I got older, I didn't really do that much with it. I would do art, you know, at the house and stuff, but nothing serious. And I was working as a drafter, and I got laid off from there. And my husband just told me that since I was an artist, I should go try to be a tattoo artist.
My dad wanted my mom to tattoo him because she was such a good artist. And so he knew how to make a homemade tattoo machine out of an electric motor. And they took my toy train motor apart and used that to make the tattoo machine. And so I remember seeing my mom tattooing my dad in the living room. And then, you know, like a month later, I find my train torn apart in the box, and I'm all crying about it, you know, getting upset, you know, because my toy was broken or whatever. But, you know, I was like way happier that I got to like watch the tattooing and witness that and see that from such a young age too, in such like a raw form.
And so I called up Fat Cat in Waco. I asked him if he was looking for anybody to be an apprentice.
He didn't want to apprentice a woman. He said women are trouble. I said, you know, their husbands are going to cause drama. It's just way too much trouble. I don't want to deal with it. And he looked at her artwork.
But I walked in with my portfolio, and he looked through it and hired me on the spot. And I've been tattooing ever since. And I was there probably about a year when Pops and his wife had opened a shop in Belton, and they asked me and my husband if we were interested in buying it. So we bought that shop.
They had a guy named Fabian come and paint this giant spray paint mural on the side of the shop, and it had fishes and octopus and everything and giant graffiti letters that said Big Fish Tattoo. And for the time then, in the 90s, that was the shit. It was really cool.
We had that shop, and I ended up selling it to my brother-in-law because my husband and I always wanted to make sure that he would have an income, that he'd be taken care of.
It was still supposed to kind of be like in the family, I guess, as far as I know, and but without there being somebody that actually had like a reason to care about it on the level that they did, you know, it just went downhill, I guess.
The knowledge and the history of tattooing wasn't there. It was just really kind of a way for them to make money, and so it didn't really grow as a business.
We knew that a guy that owned Southern Culture, Zach Colbert. So I went to work there, and while I was working there, my husband had a fatal motorcycle accident, and I stopped tattooing for about a year.
From the stories I hear, you know, he was kind of the one that like pushed for my mom to pursue, you know, and go forward with it and everything. And I suppose without him wanting to get tattooed by my mom in the first place, she would have never started tattooing and so on. And yeah.
And the whole time before the accident, the boys were working Christopher and Bubba were working in San Marcos, and Kevin and I really wanted to move to San Marcos, so we were working to move. And so after his accident, I couldn't work anymore, but I went to San Marcos and I moved down there. The first tattoo that I did after I went back to work after the accident was Christopher and some of his friends were the Silly Hat Crew, the San Marcos Silly Hat Crew, and they all of them decided they were going to get a tattoo of a wheel with their logo. And Per and Bubba were both working at a shop there in San Marcos, and one of the girls wanted me to do her tattoo. And so that was the first tattoo I did after being off that whole year. And I was really grateful that she wanted me to do that.
I guess, like, if you do something for so long, you kind of defines who you are, you know? And whenever that's not there anymore, I could imagine that being pretty rough. And so, yeah, it was definitely good to see her getting back into it and enjoying it.
That year that I was off, I went to school for a while. I took I majored in painting at Texas State for a while. And I decided that it took away too much time from my family and didn't want to do that anymore. So I went back to tattooing. And I worked at a shop there in San Marcos for probably, I guess it was about a year and a half, when Bubba opened his shop. And so I went to work with Bubba. And it was really difficult for me to go to work for Bubba because his shop is completely custom, and I've always been a street shop girl. I did flash. That's all I did. And so when I went to work with him, I was very intimidated because both of the boys are very talented and creative, and they draw their own stuff. And I was really inspired by them, and I wanted to be like them, but I didn't know how. It takes so much more talent and work to create a traditional tattoo than anybody even knows. And so once working with Per and Bubba, I learned a lot, and I think now I can do traditional tattoos, and I enjoy it. And so I was working there with Bubba, and Per decided that he was going to open his shop here in Morgan's Point. And I'm really excited about Per opening his new shop in Temple. He's fought really hard, and I'm real proud of both of them. They've both got great businesses, and they've got great work ethics, and their artistic ability is just amazing. But they both grew up in the tattoo world. You know, both of them worked as the shop kid. You know, they would do the sterilizing and cleaning, and Bubba lived with his dad in San Angelo, and so he would come down for the summers and go to work with me. And so, you know, we've got pictures of all the kids hanging out at the tattoo shop, and you know, it's pretty cool. And most kids don't grow up in that environment, and it's just normal to them. And my grandkids now, they're doing the same thing. It's normal to them to be in a tattoo shop.
Like, even when we weren't at the shop, for instance, at the house, you know, on like Sundays, family day or whatever, we'd be sitting around watching movies, and Mother would be sitting there building needles, you know, and so me and Per were interested, and we learned how, and we kind of would all pitch in kind of more to like help the workload because of how tedious that you see it was to sit there and have to do that weekly, you know, and so it's kind of fun for us anyways, but, you know, also gave us an opportunity to learn stuff that most people our age coming in don't ever even see. So, you know, that's pretty cool.
I apprenticed Per, but not Bubba, because he lived in San Angelo. But I learned from them. They're my teachers. You know, I get their opinion. I'll even, like, if I'm working here, I'll text pictures of my drawings to Bubba to get his opinion, or I'll text him to Per to get his, because I value their judgment, and we just kind of fuel each other. We work together, and it's just awesome. It's perfect.
You got to be quick on your toes if you're going to work around with her. You know, she's always got something smart to say. Good times.
She's a lot of fun to work with.
Yeah.
Tattooing is family. You know, it's always been something with family with me, obviously, because my father and my mom, they're the biggest, you know, influences into it. But even in all the businesses, you know, I knew all the family of all the people that ran it, you know. So I saw that it was all about family.